YouTube, back here with another video for Dr. Squatch. And this one, I wanted to talk about, like I was saying in my last video, why do I still use Dr. Squatch? Why do I still choose them over all the other competitors out there? And what is it about the company that makes me stick with them over everybody else? There's a couple things with that. Now, the first thing, let's just go off the bat. It's you know, it's one biggest part of it is that I was the first company I started going with when it came to natural soaps. There was other companies that I have tried and used throughout the time and stuff like that, and most of them would like natural body washes or whatever the case is. They just still never felt like they quite hit the mark. Now, I actually had used these guys since it came out. I actually just recently got into them at the end of, or no, at the start of April of this year. So it wasn't until April or even May, might have been even just May of this year, was when I got into these guys. And within that short span of time, I have not only absolutely fallen in love with the scents that they have offered, or actually, no, it was last year I felt I started using these guys. It's been about a year now. So, about, I'd say roughly around November ish is probably when it really started picking up more. Um, these guys, though, I've been using them for quite some time now, and honestly, the biggest thing I gotta say is that the level of cleanliness is unmatched. Okay, especially when it comes to your regular store bought brands. Now, I know a lot of people go, "Well, yeah, but I use Duke Cannon." Now, look, I get it. Duke Cannon gives you a huge bar for a little bit around the same price as these guys, right? So you're getting about roughly about two, or maybe two and a half ish, two and a quarter bars from Duke Cannon, and they're pretty thick, right? They're 10-ounce bars versus the 5-ounce bars that these guys are. Now, there's that. There's Grizzly Naturals. There's Sudsy Bear. All these other companies out there. My issue with them, like especially with Duke Cannon, they don't smell good in my opinion. They're too overly fragrancy. It's like you want to smell like a cheap hooker. Okay. One of the other issues I have with Duke Cannon is that there's a reason why it's considered the frat boy one, right? It's literally known as being the one that they can use for a whole year, and that's the only bar that I have to use the entirety while they're at school. And I'm sorry, that just sounds disgusting. Like legitimately, that's all you're ever going to use the entire year. You're not going to change up your scent. You're not going to try to do something different. You're just going to wear one scent all year round. That's kind of boring, kind of basic. And as you can see, I have a ton of different scents here for a reason. I like to have the different scents available to my disposal to be like, oh, you know what? Maybe I want to smell more like amber musk and leather. You know, maybe I want to smell more like deep sea goat's milk. Or maybe I just want to smell like a dude trying to escape Area 51. The Nevada sands in this guy smells amazing. Or Maverick Musk. You want to smell like you've been working on a fucking an actual like horse farm or anything like that? Bam. You know, Grit of the Genius. You want to smell like you literally come out of the Harry Potter universe and that you've been, studying in the Ravenclaw Tower? Shazam! This has got you covered. That's what I mean, though. These guys have an amazing scent. Now, again, that's gonna be subjective though, because like there's people like Gary out there on YouTube that are like, man, I hate all these scents. Oh, Maverick Musk. This is good. He says this is toned down. Dude, if you think this is toned down, you need to talk about what you think is toned up. Okay? Because he claims that this is too bad. That this is not a good scent. I'm sorry, Gary. You obviously don't know good scents. Because if you think Black Hole does not smell good, I don't trust your actual opinion when it comes to scents. Now, again, that's the problem though. Scents are subjective. So what he might like, I might hate, and what I might hate, he might like. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's one of those things. You can't just go like, well, so and so says it smells like this, but so and so smells like that. Doesn't matter. Go find a bar locally and be like, do I want to buy it? That's how you make your decision. Yes, I know sometimes it's not as always easy. You can't always find these bars locally. So it makes it a little bit harder sometimes. But you know what? I honestly have felt that I have been less upset about just randomly pulling the trigger on being like, oh, let me just pull a random buy, right? Again, Online exclusive. You could not get this in a store. Could not find it in a store. Could not find a way to be like, let me see what it smells like first. Ah, maybe I don't want to buy it. Maybe I do want to buy it. Right? So I just was like, fuck it. SpongeBob. I love SpongeBob. I'm buying 3 of those. Right? And I got one for my little sister. Same thing with the Fight Club one. Right? I had no way finding this in any store and be like, oh, let me go ahead and be like, smells good, or smells like shit. Don't want to buy it. Right? I literally was just like, fuck it. I love Fight Club. I'm a huge fan of the movie. A huge fan of the book. You know, and I love the marketing that they were presenting for it. It's like, screw it, give me 3 of those. Boom, got that order in for that. You know, Star Wars collection. I bought literally 4 boxes of those guys, and then I bought one of these just so we could make sure we had every single one of those Star Wars collector's edition boxes. You know, and legitimately just so I could have it for this. I love that they had this lightsabers inside each individual person. I thought that was dope. This was so vintage too that the scent doesn't even have there anymore, right? The scent because that Yoda boy and the Obi-Wan, dude, both of them smell amazing. Here's what I got left of the Obi-Wan one right here available. I know the other part of it's somewhere over there or maybe back there. This is the Only Hope soap. It's thyme and basil, and wow, it's got a very nice, pleasant, actual smell to it. That's just very, you know, how do I put it? It's very, it gives you like generic soap vibe, but it's obviously not. You know, and then the Yoda Boy, which has got a beautiful citrus scent to it and a eucalyptusy smell. Smells so fucking good. Again, those are amazing. And the biggest one I just gotta say out of there that I love the most, obviously, because I have 2 of them. 2 of these. There's a third one that's already in there. It's like so loved that I was like, okay, I gotta get more of these guys. The Ruthless Rinse by Darth Maul. This bad boy right here, chat, is a solid one. It's got the spicy, peppery dragon fruit smell that's just so goddamn good. It reminds me of a rustic cabin in the woods. You know what I mean? Especially in the fall. Oh man, it smells fire as fuck though, man. It's so good, chat. So I honestly think you guys would like that. You know, and this is the other thing too. Is like you saw how big that one was, right? Now giggity giggity goo. Now look how big this one be. Look how thick and girthy he is. Solid brick. And this one, you know, it could be a little uncured. It's got just a tiny bit of give to it right there. But then once you squeeze through that first little layer, it's like you can feel how thick that layer is afterwards. Looks like a giant piece of bubble gum, as I've had people say to me. Again, and I've had tons of people constantly ask me, you know, like why did you go with Squatch to begin with? Like what was the selling point for it, right? What was like the whole thing of like that's why you should go with it, right? It was the scent alone, right? I walked past the aisle, I saw the marketing, and I was like, oh, it's so cute, that's funny. You know, little Squatchy dude, you know, and then of course I had like I remember seeing the Ravenclaw brick, and then seeing also the box for the Slide of the Studs, which gosh, I missed that one a lot. I wish that one was back still. The Slytherin one was my favorite. It was what really got me hooked into Squatch, honestly, chat. Which I'm not usually a Gryffindor boy, I gotta say though. The Brick of the Brave, solid ass brick. It's got a nice smoky cedarwood smell, and I love cedarwood. Cedarwood is one of my favorite smells outside of birchwood. And birchwood again, birchwood breeze has got to be like just heavenly. You know, we literally have not just the deodorant of this bad boy too. You know, it's like I got the deodorant, and we got the cologne, and we got the soap. So this is the reason why this is an OG, is because it's just such a classic staple of a scent. Look at how beautiful she looks too. I mean, look at that. This is the other thing what I love about natural soaps. It's the way they look. It's the way they feel. Right? Okay. A bottle of fucking like Old Spice is not gonna feel the same on my skin as a beautiful brick of fucking Dr. Squatch. When I lather that up, I go across the body, go across the face, rinse it off, and I go, that, that right there, that's bliss. I'm not even joking. That is bliss in itself. And the reason for that, for me at least, is it's that therapeuticness that I get from the scent. It's the therapeuticness I have of the, I should say, the therapy of getting the wash in general, right? Literally, from just having the water hit the body in just that right way to just be like melt, right? You just feel that good. Even things that are like as random as like moon rock, right? Sorry for that. Oh, there, I had to press on these guys that fell down there, but this is such a clean, sterile smell, and it's one of the heaviest grits ever. This also, as well, I just cleaned my face today, especially when you just clean shave or like just take a trimmer to it. Like I've been using yeah, they call it the ball trimmer, but I'm sorry, I prefer just to call it the trimmer because honestly I use it for my face all the time. Love it on the beard. Okay, such a nice shave, and then I can just take the razor, clean it up, be done with it. Right. However, though, when I want to go through this 5 o'clock shadow and I want to actually scrub it nice and clean, boom, this exfoliator just goes through all of it so well that legitimately, when I go to rinse it off, it's so smooth and so soft. And I'm like, that's a 5 o'clock shadow? Why do I even need to shave at that point? It's already that smooth. It's already that soft. Like, shit, yeah. That is the power of Moon Rock, baby. Now, Mars Bar, I gotta say, another good classic right here. This guy just in general smells fucking heavenly. And it's, for me, the mango buttercream. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna be a crackhead there on that one. Smell of it alone. But the mango buttercream in this is just so heavenly. Or mango butter, what is it? Is it mango butter or buttercream? Mango butter. Mango butter. Super good. Now, again, these were being sold at the beginning of this year. So if you haven't picked up one at the beginning of this year, you're missing out. Truly missing out. So definitely pick up a Mars bar if you can. Pick up a moon rock. Pick up a black hole. And the one that everybody sleeps on, the fucking Area 51. Definitely pick up one of those guys. Definitely pick up one of those. Sitting here ranting and raving about this company, and not even being sponsored. Again, keep that in mind for you. I am not sponsored by them. So this is not like I'm doing this because I'm being asked to, so I can do reviews for the products or so I can do, this for that, upcoming soap or whatever that is, right? No, I'm doing this because I, one, love the product. Two, I want to share the knowledge of it. Three, I want to make sure I bring enough awareness to the product that they get more and more customers ordering their products so that they can keep building that beautiful brand that is Dr. Squatch. And so that way, hopefully, maybe certain like recipes that people say went and changed, to newer ones, then maybe even if it's not because due to like the fact of like let's say allergens, right? A lot of times, sometimes ingredients will be changed because all of a sudden, while it may not have caused an allergen before, as time has gone on, guess what? Studies come out. All of a sudden, bam, we find out that has an allergen now, or that can cause an issue for somebody. Camera, focus, focus. Come on, there we go. So that's the big issue right there, right? So sometimes what may have never caused an issue before, and then maybe now it causes an issue. But sometimes it's also just the fact that as companies get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they got to keep making more and more and more production, they might start cutting small corners here and there. Granted, Squash isn't going to cut the corners that are going to really matter. They're just going to cut certain corners where, like, well, hey, we won't maybe just do that formula as much as like that formula anymore, right? So just dial back that ingredient, that one, and that one, and that one. It'll still be the same, bar, but it's just not going to be as potent or maybe as vibrant or as sexy and alluring as normally it would have been, like the Bomb Chicken Wow Wow, right? A lot of people don't like that when they were one. So this is a way for Squatch to rekindle that fire of the older, generation that has used Squatch since the beginning, and bring in new people as well. See if they keep producing at a high level, right? But then they start letting people, or people let them know, hey, especially like myself, where we're not sponsored, we're not being told, hey, you can't say anything negative because the only thing negatives that we're really saying are just actual like positive criticism. Hey, do certain things that maybe change back to sense, but don't do it at the cost of the customer or the company. Do it at the rate that we can both be benefiting, right? At the end of the day, if we can go back to the original one, that is that yellowish one right here versus more creamy white one, then I guarantee you, just like with the gold moss, so long as you keep giving us that darker brown one, you know, maybe that was a trade-off. Maybe the trade-off was that we had to get this version of deep sea goat's milk now in order to keep getting the darker version of gold moss. But you know what? I'm okay with that because gold moss for me, ooh, we love that. Like gold moss for zero grit is phenomenal, especially with the fact when you just take in consideration that it has no like actual crazy ingredients about itself. It's just the scent. And some people like freaking all that would be like, oh, the scent just doesn't carry itself a lot at all. I'm like, dude, which one are you using? Because like my gold moss will last on me for like literally 4 to 5 hours at least. So yeah, definitely need to check those guys out. And if you get a gold moss that looks kind of like one of these guys, and they try to tell you that it was legit, like a legit, perfect one, da da da. It's just so they can get rid of those ones. But no, that's not the case. It is a discoloration. You need to be getting the darker kind of tan colored ones. That's the legitimate gold moss bricks. So just like these were the legitimate deep sea ghost milk, and even back in the day, these even used to be even more yellow. But a lot of people were even okay with the change of the older scent to this one because it still felt in line with what the old scent was. It just wasn't as pungent. It's kind of funny because deep sea goat's milk actually reminds me of Pure Sport. The more I'm smelling it right now, the more it reminds me of Pure Sport Old Spice. And that's crazy. That is a crazy scent to capitalize on and be better than it. So, just saying, my humble opinion. My little humble opinion on that one. But again, like, I think the reasons why I like sticking with these guys, when I look at Sudsy Bear, Grizzly Naturals, I've had people tell me that, yeah, sure, some of them are a little bit bigger. Sure, the bars might last a little longer than certain other scents of these guys, right? Like, I've had some people tell me, like, their deep sea goat smoke lasts them, like, almost 2 months. And then I've had some people tell me that their pine tar will only last them a week. You know what I mean? So I think it's just a matter of the scent sometimes, too. All that kind of jazz. There's so many plethoras that go into it though. It's very fickle. You can't just be like, oh, it's a one size fits all. This issues this. No, it's literally what you might have an issue with one batch might not fall suit with the next batch. So forth so on, right? So that's a big issue that I have with a lot of these like postings. I see people being like, "Oh yes, I had one bad pine tar that didn't last me full a month. So now I'm switching to Sudsy Bear, guys." And you're like, "Cool. Why would you want to switch to Sudsy Bear, which is an inferior product in my opinion? Like, hands down, inferior product." Because if you wanted to switch to Sudsy Bear, sure, you could switch to Sudsy Bear, and then what are you going to get? You're going to get literally a product that if it gets a hole, like for instance, there's little holes in this guy, and I purposely like cut out the little bubbles that popped up on this guy just to prove a point. Because after I use this in the wash, all it's gonna do is like go down to those layers, boom, layer it back down to a smoothness, and that's it. Okay, it's not gonna keep creating another hole further down or anything like that. It's not gonna burrow itself out and all of a sudden explode my bar. It was just kind of a weird way that it's happened with the fucking like Sudsy Bear ones. And I've seen them literally get a hole in the middle, disintegrate from the middle out, and then just literally feel like it explodes, right? And then when somebody goes to use it again, they said that it actually starts to feel like a powder, that it starts getting powdery because it's no longer held that moisture in it anymore. So again, I urge people to say, hey, are you really sure about that Sudsy Bears, that Grizzly Naturals, right? Now I think Grizzly Naturals has some really good conditioning bars, but guess what? Swatch is already on the lookout of making some of those. And I just use a brick as it is. I use a brick on my hair. So eventually, when they come out with the conditioning bars, shampoo bars, the boys aren't gonna be ready to go. So I'm like, dude, I don't even care. I'm good to go. Squash for life, baby. Squash for life. This is what I use. This is my fucking favorite product. And I say though, I don't buy a robe for a company, and then be like, yeah, nah, guys, sorry, I don't really care too much for the product. I think the product's kind of ass. Yeah, I don't really like it. I think, it could be better. Like, no, no. I'm ready to go and do something like this. Buy something as cool as this thing, right? rant and rave about how amazing their products are and all that other stuff like that, and invest as much money as I have into these guys, not being sponsored again. The hugest thing for that too is to keep into consideration. The reason why I'm saying that is because again, I am not sponsored. This isn't me being like, "Hey, Squatch, sponsor me." Hey, cool, dude, you guys did that. It'd be amazing. But here's the thing, though: it's like it's not me saying that. It's me telling you guys, "Hey, look." So at the end of the day, when somebody else says, "Hey guys, by the way, this video is sponsored by Dr. Squatch today," that is telling you that they may at any point in time lie to you. Okay, that's not about the company. That's not a reflection of the company. But the company is going to tell them, hey, if you don't have something nice to say, just don't say anything at all. So if they just don't say anything about that thing, well, then guess what? Maybe they didn't have something nice to say about it. However, if I'm not sponsored, I can then say I don't like this, and this is why. This maybe was not a good enough break, right? Maybe the nautical nonsense comes in, and I'm missing like a huge chunk of it. I'm like, guys, I can't recommend buying this right now because apparently quality control is having an issue, right? That's something I can talk about without feeling like, oh man, am I going to get in trouble with the company? No. See, I could say something like that. However, though, guess what? All mine came in perfect. So again, whenever I hear people talk about all the stuff that's been going on with the nautical nonsense, the Fight Club ones, all stuff like that, I'm starting to wonder if some of y'all been like cutting and biting and all kinds of other stuff like that into your own bricks just to squander some free ones from Squatch. Like, come on, guys, stop with the free bricks. If you can't afford the soap, that's the least of your fucking worries at this point, man. Geez, $5 for a bar of soap, but you can't afford that, but you can go afford fucking a $20 bottle of vodka. Priorities, fucking priorities. That's all I'm saying. Just keep your shit in check, right? Like that soap is worth more, in my opinion, than fucking $100 in gold. I'm not even joking. This is worth its weight in gold to me. Like this is gold, okay? For me, this is gold. This is, as my little sister would call it, my crack. There's something about when you smell it too. Like I feel that in my fucking head, my neck, everything like that. It just feels like I just took a bong rip. That's so unique. There's soap to do that without even jumping into the shower. I just felt that amazing rush. Damn, that's what I mean. You saw how much I just smelt all that there, and I just melted. Like my eyes are now like all. I look like I just got ripped as hell from just smoking in this video. I haven't smoked at all yet. See, that's what I mean. That's what this soap can do. It's got terpenes in it, anyways. It's made with some of the finest ingredients that there is. It's called nature, baby. So I definitely urge y'all to definitely check this out. If you guys have not checked out Dr. Squatch, even if you use fucking Sutsy Bear, Grizzly Naturals, Urban Eden Sons, whatever you fucking use, as long as it's natural. Stop using the Old Spice. Stop using the Axe. Stop using the Irish Spring. It is goop, and it is bad for you. Okay? Do not use the goop. The goop is bad. If you get the reference, you already know. You already know. But speaking of that reference, the Goop Guy. So I'm gonna be doing some of the Goop Guy game, which y'all know what I mean. It's a high on life. I'll see you guys here in a little bit on Twitch, twitch.tv/David100. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. Hop on over to Twitch. Drop me a follow over there. Hang out with us tonight. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Hanging out with my little sister, watching and playing some High on Life, and hanging out with all you amazing, wonderful souls in the chat. So be sure to let me know how you guys are all doing tonight and what you guys got planned for the week. I will see you all in the video. Well, the stream. Deuces.